Oh, I'm a little under the weather, so please just bear with me. But we're talking the first day of the legal tampering period with trades, the trade block, Eagles free agents that left to sign deals elsewhere, and a lot more. We're going to go over all of it, how it affects the roster going forward. And, we're going to see what happens. So let's definitely talk about it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. This video is sponsored by BetUS. So definitely go check them out if you guys have not. I couldn't stream the other day on the first legal tampering period because I'm sicker than a dog right now. So I kind of want to go through this whole process with you guys. But we'll be back the next day. But we're here. So the first thing we have to talk about is the trade that happened. Now, remember I told you guys about Kenny Pickett when we acquired him. I think it was a pick swap between us and the Steelers. It was like a fourth round from the Eagles to a third. A fourth. They swapped third, fourth round picks. The Eagles gave up a third to the Steelers. We went into that draft, and pretty much we ended up getting our pick back because we traded up in the draft anyway. But the Eagles trade Kenny Pickett to the Browns, okay, for Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a fifth round pick. Wow. That's really good. I mean, for a guy that barely played 2 full games, I can't ask for more than that. Look, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, kind of surprised they wanted a quarterback in return, but then I'm not surprised because I think they had a lot of interest in Dorian Green-Thompson during the draft process, and he has a similar skill set to Jalen Hurts. So what does this mean? This means that Tanner McKee is the second quarterback, which we all knew that McKee was a better quarterback than better than Kenny Pickett. Okay. I think he got really good value. I think I would say they fleeced the Browns, but I think for a fifth round pick for a guy that only played a couple games, barely even that, I think that's pretty good. Now the Eagles do save $2.6 million with this move. Both your quarterbacks in McKee, okay, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. McKee is only making $2.2 million the next 2 seasons. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is only making $2.3 million the next couple seasons as well. So these guys are relatively cheap. Dorian Thompson will be your practice squad quarterback, most likely your camp arm. And I actually want to see more of him and see how he fits into this offense with that similar skill set. It'll be very exciting. But I thought this was a really good trade. This brings the Eagles for the 2025 draft for 4 fifth-round picks. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. 4 fifth-round picks for the Eagles in this draft, which is great. The more picks, the better it's going to be going forward. So if you guys love that, Kenny Pickett trade, I got to say, you should be really happy about it because I didn't know if this was actually going to happen. The rumors were coming out like very early, but it kind of died down very quick, and they made the trade. They got the trade done. So your backup quarterback position is set, and they get a quarterback that they can develop in the future, which is good. So like that. Now, we heard obviously the news of Isaiah Rodgers signing his deal with the Minnesota Vikings, okay? And, Darius Slay signed with the Steelers, okay? Now, it's unfortunate. I figured that there would have been somewhat of a chance to get Isaiah Rodgers, and he was very affordable. It was like 2 years, it was like $8 million guaranteed or something like that. Okay, so it wasn't really an expensive contract, but you get a comp pick for Isaiah Rodgers. It's a 6th-round pick for 26. You have 2 6-rounders for 26. Howie loves playing the comp pick game because, you have another good year after this year. You're going to really have to rely on that 26 draft. Okay, you keep winning like this, that's what's going to happen. So they're acquiring picks and doing things, and unfortunately, this is, kind of sucks. And Slay, after that bad taste in my mouth after the season, I'm thankful for him, his services the last few years, what he's done. Doesn't take, I can't say anything bad about him, but some of the other stuff off the field that just really didn't sit well with me. Now he goes with a very aggressive Steelers team that maybe could win it all. I don't know. But there's competition there. So what does this mean for your cornerback spot going forward? Now, from what I'm hearing about a lot of the NFL executives, around the league, is that Keely Ringo is highly talked about with the Eagles right now. They love Keely Ringo. So it should really show you. And look, as a fan, we're fans. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes every day at practice, during games, things like that. Keely Ringo hasn't gotten his shot. So maybe they feel like he could be that number 2 corner if that's the case. But they're going to have to pick up more bodies regardless because, they need more depth. They need more depth at corner regardless, at inside corner behind DeJean and outside behind Quignon and now behind Keely Ringo if he is a starting number 2 guy. Okay. I understand there's got to be turnover with this roster, but if the Eagles are getting comp picks getting comp picks for certain guys, he's going to take those comp picks. I guess, by the way, Slay kind of left with all this drama that happened. I guess he wasn't re-signing. Isaiah Rodgers didn't play that much. He still got a pretty nice little chunk of money that the Eagles could have matched that. They probably could have matched that, no doubt. Wouldn't shock me at all. So cornerback, you never know what could happen here, depending on the next couple weeks in free agency and that second wave, because Howie Roseman's been very quiet. What else they do, what else they're going to do going forward. And, losing Slay was not a big deal for me. Losing Rodgers, you're losing youth there. You're replacing it with even more youth with Ringo because he's a lot younger, too, which is 22, 23 years old, something like that, which is kind of crazy. And he's got a lot of time on his hands now. But we'll see what happens, man. Depending on you Eagle fans out there, do you think that this cornerback number 2 spot's going to end up being a bigger need than what it is, or do you think that Ringo is ready for the job? I guess we'll see in the near future. Now, we did get more bad news. I didn't want Isaiah Rodgers to leave, but it looks like Oren Burks left as well to sign a deal with a 2-year, $5 million deal. Okay, 2 years, $5 million guaranteed with the Cincinnati Bengals. This one to me is very questioning. This is nothing. That contract is nothing for Burks. Cheap. So I'm sitting here. Why wouldn't they bring him back? It wasn't that it wasn't affordable. 2 years, $5 million. Come on now. I mean, what is that? That's nothing. He was a big help for us in the playoffs, took over for Nakobe Dean. Maybe they're going to let Trotter start next to Zach Bond. Maybe. But realistically, other than your starting linebackers right now, you got nobody. You have Ben Van Simmern coming off a knee injury, okay? And they're most likely like him as a fullback more than a linebacker. And Nakobe Dean, he ain't going to be back till October, November of this year. Okay, and then on top of coming back, it's going to take him. He won't be back till playoffs, realistically. That patellar tendon tear, that's a serious knee injury. That's serious. How he's going to look coming off of that is going to be the biggest question, and maybe they're putting a lot into that as well. But if it's just Zach Bond and Trotter, I don't know. I don't think that's going to be enough for you, and I don't know why they didn't re-sign him, which is kind of weird. Unless they have something else on their mind when it comes to the draft or anything like that. I can't see them drafting linebacker in the first round, but somebody could slide to that second day, most likely. Never know what could happen. So I thought the Isaiah Rodgers signing, not letting him go is kind of not as weird, but it was still questioning. And I think the Oren Burks one, for as cheap as it was a little questioning as well for my taste. So I thought that was kind of crazy. Now, there's been trade rumors with Dallas Goedert, that he is on the trade block. So Zina Anderson put out a statement saying, there are league sources who believe the Eagles are holding out hope for at least a 4th-round pick for Dallas Goedert and a potential trade, even if said pick was from later years like 26 or 27. However, a lower pick and more of a salary adjustment is needed for some teams to continue conversations. So $11.8 million against the cap. He's got a big cap number. He's got no more guaranteed money in his contract. if it was me right now, trading him for a 4th-round pick, I would not trade him, okay? You're just creating another hole at this point. Calcaterra can't block, and he can't be a number 1 tight end in this league. Not with the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? Goedert and Calcaterra are free agents after this season. But there are speculated rumors right now that the Eagles are looking to trade for another tight end. That's been that guy from the Raiders was one guy that they want to trade for. I don't know if there's anybody else out there they're trying to trade for, but trading for a tight end has been rumored a lot this offseason. If they feel like they could trade for somebody that's going to take over the mantle for Goedert, and teams are weary because he's missing 5 to 8 games a season. I would be too if I was trading for this player. Okay. But honestly, if it was just up to me, I'd restructure. He's way too valuable to be here. He's way too valuable here to just let him walk for a mid-draft pick. Okay. I know it's tough. I know, Joe, well, he's missing all these games. Yeah, I understand that. But when Dallas Goedert is on, he is on. Going to this draft in the mid-rounds, draft another tight end. They're thinking right now we need a starting tight end of the future. That's what they're thinking. And if they're not drafting one early, then they're not going to have a starting tight end of the future. They're going to have to sign a free agent, a big-time free agent to big money next year, next offseason in 26, if that's what they're going to do. So if they're going to keep Goedert, great. If they're not, then they have to trade for somebody that they can put in this offense and will be fantastic and should be healthy too. So we'll see what happens with this situation. But I get both sides to this of why trading Goedert's a good thing and why keeping him is a pretty good thing too. But there's obviously risks for both going forward. Now, to start off with some of the moves that happened or moves that the Eagles missed out on, Khalil Mack signs a 1-year fully guaranteed $18 million deal. At 34 years old, getting $18 million fully guaranteed. I mean, no other team is going to give him that. So he stayed there. It is what it is. The edge rush market is so bad right now that the Eagles aren't going to have any chance to go get, you weren't going to get Myles Garrett. You weren't going to get Max Crosby, obviously, with those 2 big contracts. We're still waiting on Trey Hendrickson and what's going to happen there. Who knows? He might just sign back with the Bengals at this point if they can't get we don't even know what the contract for Trey Hendrickson is going to look like. I think they're out. I don't even think they're even involved. I think you wait. Maybe you go get a Dante Fowler or you do something like that, something a little different, So we'll see what happens with that. But the edge rush market's going to be interesting as well. Obviously, Milton Williams signed his $26 million a year, okay, with the New England Patriots. The Patriots have been paying like there's no tomorrow. They had the most cap space. And Milton, he's getting like TJ Watt money. I mean, it's scary. It's really scary. So it's well-deserved, no doubt. So Milton signs with the Patriots. Josh Sweat signs his 4-year, $76 million contract, $40 million guaranteed with the Arizona Cardinals. Well-deserved as usual. And those are really the 2 big ones for the defensive line. So realistically, the Eagles have lost, I think, 5 players to this defense from the roster last year. Obviously, updated comp picks for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this was a mistake with the 4th rounder because I don't think we have a 4th round comp pick yet. Eagles have a 1st, 2nd. You have 3 3rd-round picks, 1 from the Hassan Reddick trade from the Jets, our own 3rd-round pick, and obviously the Milton Williams signed to the Patriots gives us another 3rd-round comp pick. 4th rounders, we should only have 2, not 3. I don't know why it says 3. It might be a mistake. Our own 4th-round pick, and we have a 4th-round pick from Josh Sweat leaving to sign with the Arizona Cardinals. And then you have your 5th round, your 2 6th-rounders. 1 is a comp pick for Isaiah Rodgers signing with another team, and you have your 7th. So there's going to be more picks added to this, no doubt. With those 4 5th-rounders you have in this draft for 25, guarantee he's going to trade one of those picks back to get another pick in 2026. Eagles will be loaded with picks this year, and they're going to be loaded with more picks even in 26, which is great. So, so that's really where you're at. Howie Roseman. So I didn't expect him to be. You have to count your own re-signs or extensions as your free agency with Saquon Barkley. Zach Bond was high priority, which we all wanted, and thank God we got that. Now you're letting guys like Isaiah Rodgers go, Oren Burks go. that were relatively cheap contracts to positions where now your depth is lingering like really bad now. With both of those, seems like Keely Ringo is very, is thought really high on by the Eagles, and I hope so, because I hope he does become the number 2 corner, but need depth at that position regardless, and inside corner. So what is the next move for the Philadelphia Eagles? Now, the Mekhi Becton thing, we haven't heard much from, but from what these guards are getting paid, 4 years, 70-something million dollars, I don't know if Becton is even coming back unless he's really taking a big pay cut, because I've seen guards get paid pretty good. And that's going to be the next one. I feel like maybe they will get that one done. But guys, they're not going to be quiet through the second wave of free agency, because there's still edge rushers out there. There's still guys out there, DT depth. You have Jonathan Allen, and you have Hargrave out there. Like I mentioned, Dante Fowler at edge. I mean, there are guys out there, Oculari, whatever, from the Giants. There are a lot of edge rushers still out there that they could probably get for a mid-tier penny or lower than that. Because, like I said, your starters are fine right now. You just need some depth, and I think you need to double dip on defensive line this draft. There's no doubt about it. You have an entire draft even. You still got a whole draft to worry about. You know what I mean? So your biggest moves this season so far was giving Saquon that extension and giving Zach Bond that extension. And then they kind of had to let some turnover happen with this roster. Couple things to question, but I'm probably overreacting over some things. And we'll probably be like, oh, well, that's why Howie Roseman did that. I guess it makes sense 100%. So, let me know what you guys think about Eagles free agency, or at least the legal tampering period day 1. Sorry, my voice is messed up. The last couple of days have been really bad. I couldn't stream the other day, so I want to apologize to everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with more. I'm going to try to stream today if I can. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about some of the moves, what made sense, didn't make sense. And there's a lot more. We're just getting started. We have a lot more to go through. You guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.